everybody, and welcome to another episode of the Divorced Woman's Guide podcast. How are you today? How is your holiday season going? I am really looking forward to today's topic. The reason being that the holidays brings up not just emotions, but it also stirs up family dynamics. And I wanted to come in and talk to you guys today about the impact that divorce has on family, on the family dynamic, on the family that you had, the family that you are looking to create in this next chapter of your life, and how to manage your ex's family during this time. You know, I have been doing this, as you guys know, this has now been almost 5 years that I have been juggling what my new family dynamic gets to look like, and also every holiday season, mourning what the holidays used to look like when I was married versus what they look like today. And what I have come to know to be true, and you guys hear this all the time, and I'm going to start by talking about what you guys hear a lot, and then I'm going to go into real talk and really talk to you guys about kind of some stuff that I'm struggling with right now that I bet most of you guys are as well. And what you guys know to be true is that the holidays are a time where, you know, family is hard to begin with, right? You're juggling, especially even when you were married. Whose family are you with on this holiday, or the eve of, or the day of, or, you know, when you guys are going through your divorce, you're figuring out who gets what holiday and what do other people do and what's normal, quote unquote, normal. And there is no one size fits all, you guys. But what I know to be true is that regardless of what day of the week you're celebrating your holiday with your kids, is that you do get to create what that new family tradition gets to look like. And while that seems scary, while it seems sad, there's also so much excitement that comes with it. And at the same time, what I am feeling this year, what a lot of my clients are struggling with and working through, especially because a lot of them, this is their first year going through the holiday cycle as divorced or separated. And that struggle is, how do you handle the extended family? How do you handle the in-laws during this time of year? Do you buy gifts? Do you not buy gifts? Do you reach out? Do you try to make plans? You know, so many of us have a connection to our ex's family and vice versa. And when you go through separation or divorce, it really lends itself to creating what this new family dynamic gets to look like. And what I know to be true is that it's complicated. There isn't a one size fits all. But what I do know to be true is that just because it looks like it looks this way this year, it doesn't necessarily mean that that's what it's going to look like next year, or in 2 years, or in 3 years. And what I always tell my clients is, you get to root yourself in the now, in what this year looks like, instead of worrying about, oh my God, this is how it's going to be, this is how it's going to look like every year thereafter. And this year in particular, you know, I feel like because we're all coming out of COVID now and we're able to congregate and to get together and to have family get-togethers, it's almost like we used last year as an excuse for us to not have to deal with family dynamics. It had to be separate, right? There had to be lines drawn. And yes, of course, there were many, many struggles and conflicts that happened as a result of that. But with this year, right, people are able to congregate. And a lot of times extended family feels like they have to take sides, especially in the beginning. And I know that it sucks, and I know that it's hard, and I struggled with it myself. I was super tight and close to my ex's parents, his siblings, his grandmother, his aunts and uncles, his cousins. And I will never forget that first year of the holidays where all of a sudden I was creating new traditions. I wasn't talking to them. I wasn't speaking to them. I wasn't able to see my nephews. I wasn't able to see, you know, my kids' cousins who I had grown very attached to. And it was really hard, and it sucked. And it was something that I remember, you know, I think that to me was the hardest part, was all of a sudden I was in their life, and then poof, then you're not in their life. And what I continued to question was, well, do I reach out? Do I send them gifts? Do I try to get together with them? And what I started to do was I asked them to come see us, on my turf, and not in, where my ex was or where his parents were, but we did try to get the kids together. And yes, it was awkward. Yes, it was uncomfortable. Yes, it was so incredibly sad. And at the same time, it's also an opportunity for you. You could choose to sit in what you don't have, right? Looking at a glass half empty, or you can choose to see that this is a step. This is a step of a glass half full. This is a step into potentially what this new relationship, this new dynamic gets to look like. And at the end of the day, it's really about your kids. It's about what is best for your kids. And it doesn't mean that your feelings don't mean something, because they absolutely do. You're allowed to feel sad. You're allowed to feel whatever you want. And I'm also a firm believer that you get to communicate to the extended family, like, this is really hard. This hurts. This feels heavy. I think so many times we just ignore. We ignore the feelings that are coming up because we get into judgment mode around them, especially during the holidays. And we just let ourselves feel sad without communicating to other people like how hard this is, including your kids. It's hard for your kids too. I mean, this year, my kids are, they're feeling a little bit of a struggle with what they want to do for the holidays. My mom is really sick right now. And so, the kids are struggling with, well, this is what the custody arrangement is versus this is what they truly want to be doing. So how do we rearrange and how do we make that work? Because all these people are flying in on the other side of the family. It's like all these moving pieces, right? And you guys, it's not like the moving pieces are ever going to stop moving. I hate to break it to you. They're always going to be moving. There's always going to be new situations. There's always going to be new dynamics. There's always going to be new circumstances. That is it's called life. It's not just divorce. It's called life. And it's really about how it is that you navigate the bumps, how it is that you navigate the now, how it is that you choose to show up and to create something memorable and special for yourself, and having grace for the emotions that come up during this time of year. The impact of divorce on family has a ripple effect. It's not just your core group. It's the in-laws, it's the aunts and uncles, it's the cousins, right? It's the extended family. Everybody feels the impact of the divorce, and people feel like they have to take sides. And what's important is that you're not the one telling them that they have to. You're not backing them into a corner. You are allowing yourself the opportunity to say, you know what, these are my feelings and I love you so much and I still get to have these feelings. And so this is what this gets to look like. And again, it doesn't mean that that's how it's going to look every year thereafter, right? It just means that this is what it gets to look like this year. This is how it has to look in order for you to have the most memorable and loving and caring holiday possible, right? What is family? You guys, ask yourself that question right now. What does family mean to you? Is it blood? Or is it blood plus extended friends? I have a very small family. And for me, my family has always included my best friends. They are my family. I love them like I would my family. Blood doesn't make people family, you guys, and neither does marriage. So you get to rethink what family gets to look like. And yeah, it may look different this year, and it may look different from last year, and next year may look different from this year or the year before. And that's okay, because what I know to be true is that the world is shifting. The world is changing. Friends come in and out of our lives for reasons, you guys. And it's okay that the family dynamic shifts. But what I know to be true about what family is all about is family is about love. It's about connection. It's about relationship. It is about respect. It's not about blood. It's not about anything having to do with the fact that, you've known each other for decades. That's not what family is. My family has shifted every single year since I got married, since I got divorced. My family has looked different. And you guys get to be okay with that. Be okay, lean in, surrender to the shifts and to the changes and be open to redefining what family looks like this year. Don't let your divorce define what it has to look like every year thereafter. Just be in the flow, be in the moment of what it is. I know that I'm doing that this year, you guys. I am estranged from my sister. My mother is not doing well, and my family right now are my parents and me. And I'm having to rethink and relook at what that is. On the flip side, my kid's dad, he's got siblings, his new wife has got siblings, there's grandparents, there's cousins, there's aunts, there's uncles, there's this huge extended family. And instead of looking at it from a lens of jealousy, I am looking at it as, thank God my kids have this on the other side, and I get to create what my version of that looks like on my side. And there isn't animosity, there isn't jealousy. It gets to be different, and different is okay. So I hope that you guys enjoyed listening to this week's episode. You know that I always love to hear your feedback. So please share with me what came up for you. What is it that family means to you? I'd love to hear how it is that you define family, what that looks like, what that means to you. And if you guys have any questions that you want to know the answers to, email me, wendy@wendysterling.net. You want to feel community, come into my Facebook group. It's called The Divorce Rehab. And make sure that you're on my email list. You can subscribe to it on my website, wendysterling.net, because that is where I'm sending out all of my wisdom, where you guys get first knowledge of anything that I have going on that's coming out. So as always, sending you guys lots of love, light, and joy. Mwah. And I hope that with this episode that you got some nuggets of information that are helping you to navigate what I know is a challenging time of year. Hope you guys have a beautiful rest of your day, and I'll see you guys in next week's episode.